Did you know, and this is for you too, Wendy, did you know the first lunar rover was a Jeep?
What?
A modified CJ-3A first explored the moon way back in 1950.
Oh, wow, that's pretty cool.
I mean, I know you kids don't keep up with this stuff, but that's a full 19 years before the official, wink, wink, moon landing.
I see what you did there.
All right, well, this is only on film in a movie called Destination Moon. I had you there, especially you kids that didn't experience the moon landings. You went, really?
They're like, what?
It was
really?
a
The
Jeep?
is there first?
Did you notice that because it was a Jeep, you thought it could be true?
That's right. That's right.
That's the power of Jeep.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Hello, I'm Tony. Welcome to the Jeep Talk Show. The Jeep Talk Show is where we are celebrating our 15th year of delivering top-notch content in the Jeep community. Our crew is a tight-knit group of passionate Jeepers who keep this adventure rolling smoothly. Sometimes it's more smoothly than other times. When I'm in charge of it all the time, it's not so smooth. On tonight's stories, Jeep first Easter egg. This has surprised me. It goes way back, I think, to the 40s when they had their the original Jeep Easter egg. So is Jeep more powerful than a locomotive? Even a Hemi isn't faster than a speeding bullet, right? Does everybody get the Superman reference? Yeah.
Yeah, no, they don't. I don't. Some did, yeah.
In Newbie Nuggets, Wendy talks about mentoring. Is that meteoring? You go out and catch meteors when they come in, or mentoring?
Yeah, something like that. Depends on how it's spelled. Yeah, that's right.
You know, that would be a damn good video, catching meteors, 14,000 miles an hour.
You know what? But it's possible to see them if you're out in the desert and you're doing a cool night run.
Oh, the meteors are so fun. And I'm going to go off script here real quick. My dad, he was on his way to work. He drove about 45 miles each way into Houston, and he went down I-10. And this is way back, before. I'm going to say 1967.
Wow. Okay.
66, 67. He stopped on his way to work, called us on the phone. He would leave around 5 a.m. Called us on the phone to let us know that there was, I don't know if he said a meteor shower. I don't know if he understood that, but he stopped to let us know that there was a mayhem happening. So
things falling from the sky, like maybe an asteroid broke up or something like that, or aliens?
So sometimes
that was a big deal.
Yeah. Sometimes comets, you'll pass through a comet tail. And I don't mean immediately. It could be years later. The Earth just happens to move through, and you go through all that debris, and it causes the debris to burn up in Earth's atmosphere.
How cool is that, though?
So we went down to the elementary where there were no trees. We had trees in our yard, and you could see it even with the trees, but we wanted a clear view. We went over to the elementary. Everywhere you looked, and I don't mean you had to wait. You just look around, and it was everywhere.
Wow. You know, what's cool about that is back then there wasn't as much light pollution. The problem today is when you're in these cities or even slightly outside of the city, the light pollution's so bad you hardly get to see them anymore.
It was stunning and breathtaking. And I was into astronomy when I was a kid, had a nice telescope and stuff. But of course, you're talking about light pollution, which kind of takes away from it. Also, too, I found that if you wanted to get those stunning images, you couldn't just look through the eyepiece. You had to attach a camera and do timed exposures to bring out all the light and all the color. And that was disappointing because I wasn't a rich kid. But the next time there was a meteor shower, I made damn sure to go out there and look. And I'm looking up, and I don't see anything.
Wow.
And then, there's one.
Yeah. It's just like it takes forever.
Another 5-10 minutes. There's another one. And this was the same type of event. Comet tail. There's I think the Perseids I was
going to say Perseids, because that happens a lot.
Reoccurring yearly, but you never know how big a show it's going to be.
No. And
that thing that I saw, and I'm glad that I saw it because it's a vivid memory even to today. I have never seen another meteor shower like that.
Sure, like that.
And if you're going out and you're going to look, and like you want to go see a meteor shower, look at the estimated rate. That'll tell you. So I got to experience something that probably nobody else will ever experience in their life unless the moon blows up.
Well, let's hope. Wait a minute. Let's hope not.
They'll It'll be a good show, but it'll be bad overall.
It'll be bad overall.
Yeah. Anyway, that's our astronomy talk. And
yes, and stay tuned for more.
And if any of you guys saw that when you were a kid, or hell, maybe you're a time traveler and you saw it when you went back and saw it. But by the way, if you are a time traveler, go back, look that up. It made a lot of records, and I think it has happened more than once. Sure. But I have not had the opportunity to see something that spectacular.
And I think too, it depends on what part of the country you're in too, because like we're up in Big Bear, which we have a little bit less or a lot less light pollution, so we can see the stars all the time. But even when they say, hey, it's going to be, so many different, what is it, per minute, the rate, you're thinking, great, this is the night I'm going to go out, and you go out and you're like, well, where is it?
Well, and it's only estimates. It's only estimates, because they don't have any way of tracking the debris.
No, of course not.
This is historical information, and it could suck, but that's kind of the adventure part of it. So it's a lot of fun. Go outside, especially if you're jeeping, like if you're at Moab and you're camping outside.
Oh my gosh!
Don't have a fire. Just sit there. And look up
in the dark. Yeah. And you can also see the satellites. That's what's really cool too.
Yeah. Satellites are fun. And by the way, if the satellites change direction, UFO. They go in a straight line. Yeah. They go in a straight line. If they turn, or you point a laser pointer at them and they shine a laser pointer back, that's a UFO or military. All right, here's a fresh batch of little known Jeep facts. Wendy, we've been adding like Jeep facts to the end of our news stories. And frankly, the news stories are all the same crap. I mean, layoffs, Jeep EVs,
new CEO, new COO, new whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. So I thought, well, let's just see about Jeep facts. We can just talk about the Jeep facts. Yeah, I think this will be a lot of fun. I think I sent you a message because we were going to record, and I said, I ain't finding no Jeep news, Wendy.
Exactly. I know, it's too funny. Too many things going on.
All right, these tidbits go beyond the basics, spotlighting quirks, experiments, and oddities that even hardcore Jeep fans might miss. I know I have. Perfect for your interest in Jeep's hidden gems. Mm-hmm. All right, here we go. Jeep's, and I love this. This is a Frankenstein story. Jeep's first fatality was its creator.
Ooh.
Dun, dun, dun. It looks like Karl Probst.
Yeah.
The Bantam engineer, the Bantam engineer who penned the original Jeep, designed in 1940, died in a bizarre twist of fate. On August 27th, 1948, he suffered a heart attack while mowing his lawn. Now, that's not the Jeep part. Behind his Jeep-powered motor he built.
Oh, boy. There we go. Oh, no.
So the father of the Jeep was 65 years old, and his invention outlived him by decades.
Well, I mean, you got to be, the person who designed it at some point was going to pass. But that's just kind of interesting that he was on his Jeep-powered mower. I think that's what's cool about this.
I think he should have been given a pass, no pun intended, because he invented the Jeep. I think that he should have got a get out of death free card.
Yeah, he should be immortalized and have a statue and an honor in his name.
Mm-hmm. Behind either on or behind a Jeep lawnmower,
exactly
clutching his chest. All right, Jeep that outran a train.
No way.
In 1941, I know it's like, wow, this is really? Trains are pretty fast these days.
Was the train just not moving, or I'm just kidding?
Apparently, they didn't move very fast back in 1941. In 1941, a Willys MB Jeep beat a steam. There you go. Locomotive in a 400-yard race. Oh, so this is getting up to speed.
Well, I was going to say the train barely had enough time and move and space to even get up to the speed.
Yeah, all torque. I was going to say no horsepower, but a lot of horsepower. But it takes a long time to get that thing going.
Get to that, yeah.
And by the way, folks, whenever you're going through a road rail system intersection and the arms are down, don't go through there because they can't stop very fast either.
No, they don't. Oh my gosh,
it's like a brodozer. Except the brodozer can't see you.
So true.
All right, so the early no, that's not it. Clocking 35 miles an hour to the train's 30 miles an hour. So the steam locomotive over 400 yards made it up to 30 miles an hour, and the speed demon Jeep made it to 35.
Yahoo! I mean, 1941, 35 would probably be pretty damn fast if you think about it.
And keep in mind, this was a sales type thing. It was staged to hype Jeep's agility. It hauled a 37 millimeter anti-tank gun and crew. Now that's something.
Yeah, right there. Now that's pretty cool.
You know, Jeep Performance products need to come out with a 37 millimeter anti-tank gun that you can add to your build.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I saw a video today where somebody was in I think it was a Suburban. It might have been an Excursion or something, and they slid the top back, and up pops a Gatling gun that raises,
Awesome.
and the guy spins around. He starts shooting at the helicopter.
Love it.
You know, the sad thing is you spend all the money and time and buy all the ammo, and then you can't use it. I mean, you can use it once.
Especially in what state, right? There's a few states you might get away with it using it a couple times, but
yeah,
California, I guarantee you, it would not happen.
you could sell tickets and shoot out something out on the range as you drove around.
Now that would be awesome.
So witnesses swore it danced around the tracks, a stunt lost to time until the Army archives resurfaced it.
So they actually got video of this, or
something.
Some kind of
I don't think
film?
it was video. I don't think video came around
No, I
until
don't
the
think
60s
video.
or 70s.
They might have pictures of it then.
Film,
They said
yeah,
it-
film.
They found it in the archives, unless they found the vehicle in the archives. Maybe that's what they're talking about.
Not only is our time here, the time that we are here on Earth, amazing because we can do full audio video to the world, like we're doing with this audio and audio video show. By the way, you can watch this episode on YouTube, and I suggest that you do because we go through a lot of trouble. So somebody needs to watch it. Damn it! It's amazing that it's before my time, but it's amazing that pictures haven't been around. I mean, there's very rare pictures of Lincoln back in the 1800s.
I know.
So that's there's a lot of technology that's come about very quickly, relatively very quickly.
Mhm.
All right. So anyway, the tire tread tire tread arc secret. I'm just going to go with it.
Oh, I
Early
like this one.
CJ2A tires, 1945 through 49, from Goodyear, featured a hidden Jeep embossed in the tread pattern.
That sounds really
Now
cool.
listen,
doesn't
it's
it?
not on the side, visible only when wet or it was wet or muddy.
I like
in other
it.
words, in the ground. So it's
Right.
like, you know,
So it's actually in the tire, on the tire tread pattern.
I can see a Western and the Indians going, "Oh, it was a Jeep." And Kimosabe says, "How do you know? It says Jeep."
Right here.
It's right here in the dirt.
Duh. How interesting.
Isn't that cool? I have never heard this
Yeah.
before. So
I never have heard deceit of that. I love this.
So I'm kind of surprised that that's never come back. But then again, I don't know what that would do to hydroplaning and general traction.
Yeah, traction overall, but it would be a great stunt for like a great marketing piece right now. That'd be awesome for Jeep.
Actually, it'd be really cool for a tire manufacturer to come out with something like that. I know it'd be very expensive to make because they have to make those molds that the stuff
mold
goes
would
in.
be- I know, but still, that'd be awesome.
Maybe they could use something to like a laser cutter or something and
Well,
cut the Jeep out of it.
If this is from Goodyear, Goodyear probably has it somewhere in their warehouse. Think about that for a minute. They probably had to make a mold back then.
Right, but
probably
it would
still have it somewhere.
but it would be the Jeep tires from that time period. It wouldn't be anything
Well,
like we use.
No, but still, you could do it for a marketing piece. It'd be kind of neat.
Yeah, it really would be. Somebody that listens to this would go, "Oh, damn, I got to go to the warehouse and look around."
We got to go back in the deep archives for that.
The oldest person there is probably 70, and he doesn't know anything about this.
And he's like, well, wait, I don't think that happened.
He's too young to even been around when that happened.
I love it.
All right, so I like this one. Ford's World War II paint snub. So Ford's wartime GPW Jeeps skipped Willys' signature OD green. They just said no. There's a war going on. We can get away with this shit.
Yeah.
So they didn't paint the GPW Jeeps OD green. They painted it with a cheaper gray shade nicknamed Ford Mud by the GIs.
No kidding. I mean, seriously, a gray shade?
But get this. Willys griped at dull Jeep's look, but Ford churned out 280,000 units this way. And
wow.
Collectors
So
now prize the rare hue mismatch.
I could see that, yeah. But 280,000 units. Somebody at Ford said, "I like it. Let's go for it."
Oh, somebody at Ford said that this is a lot cheaper. That's good.
Yeah, let's do it. We saved how much? Yeah.
All right.
Crazy.
Now I think you've probably run across some underwater Jeep videos and stuff. I mean, relatively
Yeah.
recently, like at least the
Yeah.
90s, maybe the 2000s.
I thought we talked about one about 3 or 4 years ago too.
Oh,
You
yeah,
could
very
be-
well could be. But this is something that the Army tested. So the underwater
Oh.
Jeep experiment. In 1943, the Army tested a SEEP. That's with an S, folks, instead of a J.
This is so original.
GPA amphibious Jeep with a snorkel kit, driving it about 20 feet underwater across rivers.
Wow.
It worked, and there was a lot of fish caught by dragging a net. No, I'm sorry. I just added that.
They had dinner and
You
a show.
know, some GIs tried that though. If they
Of
had that
course
out
they
there,
did.
they were going to be trying
Well,
to
yeah,
catch
why not?
fish. It worked barely, logging 30-minute submersions. That's a long time. But leaks and exhaust woes sank mass adoption.
No.
Only 12,778 SEEPs were built.
They actually made that many. Wow.
Yeah. Survivors fetch about $50,000 today.
Wow. For a SEEP. I think that's like a collectible. I could see several car collectors wanting one of those. Just
Yeah.
because it's so unique and different.
Hey, who got water on my seat? All right, Jeep's Hollywood stunt double. Here's the lunar rover.
The lunar thing.
The 1950 film Destination Moon used a modified CJ-3A as a lunar rover prototype. Painted silver, of course, fitted with fake antennas, it explored the moon's on-screen, a nod to Jeep's sci-fi cred years before NASA's real rovers.
Well, and if you look at the rovers that NASA uses, you almost wonder if they didn't look at this as sort of a true prototype to build off of.
Mm-hmm.
So Jeep might have been the inspiration for the true rovers.
Yep. I think we'll see Jeeps on the moon. I think we'll see it in our lifetimes. They'll be highly modified, but I think you'll see Jeeps on the moon, especially, I suspect if not the moon, on Mars. Cause I think Cybertruck looks the way it does because they're going to be using those.
For that?
Yeah. They're going to be using those on Mars to haul things around.
Such a bizarre looking vehicle. I'll tell you
It really is. I think they have to have some sort of aerodynamics because the battery capacity just doesn't, it wouldn't, make it otherwise. So
some kind of style would be nice. I mean, it's just so, we have them up here. There's people running around in Big Bear with them. And you're just like, why? They look so cumbersome. Like you can't, I don't know how you see out of the windows. And I realize it's probably all cameras inside, but that's not how you drive, people. You need to be able to look out the windows.
You're thinking wrong. Full self-driving, Wendy.
Apparently I am thinking wrong. But
Do you know that the full self-driving, the robo-taxis are coming out in Austin this June?
Well, they had them in Arizona and there's been some major problems. So just be aware, people.
Well, I've mentioned before, make sure that if you're calling the Tesla a problem, make sure that you pay attention to who it is. Because the non-Teslas have a lot of problems. Anything that uses LiDAR is generally not a great robotaxi. Anyway, and again, I'm a Tesla investor, so I pay attention to this stuff, and I'm very excited about the full self-driving. Oh, by the way, they released full self-driving in China, and the people reviewing the full self-driving in China are amazed. It knows how to travel down and around all the Chinese streets and stuff.
That's tough because it's really, really busy and packed in those areas.
Yeah, it really is. All right. Let's see here. So there was the Jeep Rover, Lunar Rover, Desert Rat's Jeep Burial. In 1951, Joshua Tree's Desert Rat, Bill Keys, buried a rusted CJ-2A upright in the sand, nose down, tail up as a mile marker. It stood for decades, dubbed the Jeep Headstone, until vandals toppled it. Oh, that's just a shame. In the 90s, locals still hunt its remains.
That Joshua Tree is here in Southern California.
That's what I was thinking. So do you remember, I think that's right. Oh no, I'm thinking of the Rat Patrol. So Joshua Tree's Desert Rat. It's apparently something else that I don't know if that was a show or not, but I remember Rat Patrol. There was a lot of Jeep action in the Rat Patrol 60s series, I believe. All right, no door locks until 1987. Good Lord.
That's amazing to think of that.
I didn't say electric door locks. I said
No, just
door locks.
even manual.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Civilian Jeeps lacked door locks until the 1987 YJ Wrangler, 42 years after the CJ2A. Pre-YJ owners relied on soft tops or padlocks. AMC figured off-roaders didn't care.
Well, today we do. Holy cow.
Yeah, the YJ's hardtop finally forced a keyed security. That's interesting. It's a good idea because, what happens a lot of times, the doors are unlocked. It's got a soft top and they cut the soft top.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like the doors are unlocked, you idiot. So
they didn't even try it.
Back on this thing, they said, well, it doesn't have a lock. Just open the door. So a lot of soft tops were saved. Just whenever you're shooting them, make sure you aim so you don't tear up the soft top.
God.
Anyway, the 2-cent Jeep sale. In 1968, Kaiser Jeep sold its Brazilian arm to Ford for $2. Yep, and that was $2 way back then. It's worth 39 cents now. 2 cents dumping a failing operation. Ford Brazil retooled the Willys CJ5 as the Ford Jeep, selling 92,000 units until 1983. A footnote, it's a footnote in Jeep's global saga.
Wow, for $2.
Yep.
They made some profit there, didn't they?
Could be. All right. So, this is a good one. I think I think everybody loves this one. So I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm looking at the deadly roll bar thing.
Oh no, I'm talking about the radio trick.
Yeah, but this is something. And actually, I remember learning about this whenever I was doing CBs back in the late 70s. So World War II Jeep radio trick. Willys MB had radio suppression kit capacitors on spark plugs to cut interference on for field radios. The radios back then weren't nearly sensitive. They used a lot of HF. VHF and UHF really was too difficult to manufacture and probably were very expensive if they existed at all. So everything was HF, and it was some form of AM. It probably was AM or sideband, and AM and sideband are very susceptible to electrical noise. You can do this yourself with an AM radio if everybody has an AM radio anymore, maybe one in your vehicle. During a thunderstorm, just tune to any off station on AM, and you will hear the lightning crashes very clearly.
Wow, interesting.
And you can hear it from hundreds of miles away. And it's also a good way to find out if there's a storm coming to you, because you can actually use that method. And I think you can do the timing thing, kind of like they did in Poltergeist, where the lightning would flash, and then you counted the thunder, how long you got the thunder.
We still do that today when you hear it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's there's ways of survival that don't require GPS or any kind of technology. Well, not much technology anyway. So anyway, GIs found that this radio suppression thing doubled as a crude jammer, scrambling enemy signals if parked close enough. A tactical hack lost to modern tech. I think that they don't say it here, but I think they would have to remove the capacitors from the spark plugs. So if you saw a GI revving the engine, he would tell you he's doing the Lord's work by jamming them Germans.
Yeah.
Or the Japanese. All right, this is the one I was thinking we were going to do next. CJ5's deadly roll bar scandal. Early CJ5s, 1954 to 1970, shipped without roll bars. Oh yeah, I mean that's the way they did it. I mean we die.
Cost. Yeah,
we die like men.
Right.
Jeep deemed them unnecessary for off-road.
Oh God, there's a corporate guy who's never been off-road.
After 100 plus rollover deaths.
Oh my goodness.
Oh gee, we may have been wrong about this.
Let's rethink that.
Lawsuit forced a retrofit of in 1978. AMC's fix, optional bars, still not standard.
Oh my gosh.
Till the YJ.
Hey, here they are. It was going to cost you more.
Hey, if you die, it's your fault. There was optional roll bars.
You didn't have to go off-road. What do you mean?
That's right. Well, and we've talked about this before. I mean, I think it's the amount of people that actually take their Jeeps off-road is around 5%. I think it was that Allen guy from Jeep. I think he said as high as 25%. But either number is a very low number. And if you're putting roll bars and everything, the chances of that roll bar being used are less. I'm not saying it wouldn't get used even in a wreck on surface streets.
I was going to say on surface streets, you definitely want the roll bar in some of these areas when people drive.
Yep. All right. And we've mentioned this one before, but I want to mention it again. The Phantom model year gap. Jeep skipped 1996 for the Wrangler. No YJ to TJ transition models exist. The YJ ended in 1995. TJ launched in 1997. Why? Factory retooling for coil springs and round headlights left a void, and a void collectors still puzzle over. So I can see that. I mean, if you're trying to save money and stuff, and that there was quite a bit of change between those two Jeeps, leaf springs, then coilovers. Although other than the pads on the axles where the coils went in instead of the leaf springs, I can't imagine that it would be that big a deal. But then again, I haven't made millions of Jeeps either.
Well, and it sounds like it was a decision at the end of 95 when they didn't have time to get the tooling done and everything else ahead of time. So they just said, look, let's get it going for 97. So they just skipped a year. So if anybody's trying to sell you a Jeep that's 1996, you need to you need to not let go of your money.
A TJ or a YJ. XJ, sure. So I have to ask Henderson about this. He said that something, I think it was the YJ or the TJ, saved Jeep's Wrangler. And I can't remember which one it was. I'd like to say TJ because I'm a TJ fan, but it may have been the YJ that saved
definitely worth
Jeep.
Giving him an ask that question for sure.
All right, Jeep's nuclear test survivor. It still glows in the dark. A 1953 CJ3B was parked 1 mile from a Nevada nuclear test. Operation Teapot. Yeah, that did. Definitely steam some water for you.
Yeah.
1955, it survived the 15 kiloton blast, starting up post detonation with charred paint. It probably was the Ford Gray.
Yeah, definitely cheap paint.
Take this piece of shit Gray Jeep out there. Although I think that was a different model. The Army kept it hush hush, and it's now in a private collection.
Yeah, and I wonder too, would it have still the remnants of the nuclear stuff? Would it glow like you said in the dark, or is it?
It's going to have some radiation to it. Whether it is a dangerous level or not, I would assume that it's not, but who knows? You pay somebody enough money, I'll take my chances.
Yeah, exactly. It's over there in the corner. We're fine with it.
I have lead underwear. I'll be okay.
Exactly.
All right, male Jeep's secret stash. In 1950 to 1984, the DJ-3A dispatcher Jeeps for the U.S. mail had a hidden compartment under the driver's seat. Well, that's where we put our guns.
Yes,
meant for spare
those lock boxes.
Meant for spare keys, but used by carriers for snacks or smokes. Nice. Postal vets swear it was Jeep's best feature. I can see that. I would
agree. Yeah, that's a good one.
The postal Jeeps are always open, right? So having a place where you can hide stuff away, unless you're a postal worker, then you know to check it for snacks and smokes.
Exactly.
So these nuggets peel back Jeep's layers, wartime ingenuity, oddball experiments, and quirks that help shape its grit. Want more on specific era or models? Well, keep listening to the Jeep Talk Show. We'll have more of this in the future. Wendy, what did you think? Did you learn some stuff here that you had weren't aware of?
I did not know, and I like some of these. It's kind of nice. It's good to have some history once in a while. We need to know where the Jeep came from and what it was good for and what they tried to do. And now look what we're doing with it. Amazing.
Absolutely. The Jeeps have been innovative for a long, long time. And of course, World War II made a big difference. I'm a little sad that Jeep still isn't the war vehicle of choice. I mean, the Hummer, the original Humvee is a very nice vehicle. But it's still nice to see Jeeps out there doing our work for us.
Mm-hmm.
What? Where's the noob? Noob! Hey, newbie!
Noob Nugget.
It's time for Newbie Nuggets.
Well, if you've been listening for long enough, you know that I love the Jeeping world. And there's just so much knowledge out there that sometimes good knowledge and sometimes not so much. And as we know more, we gain experience. And I feel it's part of our job to pass that info along when someone is new or perhaps isn't aware. Being a mentor is not an easy task. It does take patience, and it's not for everyone. Mentoring is being able to help that newbie at their level of understanding, not just telling the newbie what they need to do, but rather helping them to understand why they need to do something. We run into this all the time teaching and leading runs, and I've learned over the years that people in general learn in several ways, some by doing, some by reading about it, and some by listening, and others by a combination of all of these. A few years back, and I've talked about this before, we had a club run down in the desert at Cougar Buttes. And as we were all lining up and airing down at the trailhead, a gentleman in a 4xe Jeep stopped and asked, "Hey, what you doing?" I told him it was a club run, and he asked if he could join us. Now, I took a look at his almost brand new stock Jeep and said, "Sure, not sure your Jeep is set up for this run today. However, there are bypasses, and you can join us and watch." We were on some Black Diamond trails at some point in the desert there. Now, as a mentor, it's really important to be open to someone you don't know joining your run. So we parked his Jeep at the first obstacle. He happened to jump into our Jeep and proceeded to travel with us for the day. Now, he got to see what Jeepers do and also how much fun we had. At the end of the run, I suggested when he was ready, we'd be happy to get him on the trail and teach him what his Jeep can actually do. The cool thing is, you never really know who you may meet and what impact you can have on someone. Had we said no to him joining because it was, quote, a club run, we would have lost an opportunity to work with him and get him involved in the off-roading world. So just remember, even though all of us experienced listeners know a lot, it's never a bad thing to help someone new and share your knowledge and experience. We need more mentors to help keep the Jeep life alive and thriving. So Tony, what do you think about mentoring someone on the trails? I know you've been mentoring me on the show for years now, but what about on the trails? What do you think?
I think it's wonderful. And I've said this before. I think the best thing about teaching somebody anything is the smile or the realization that they can do it. It's like, oh, that wasn't bad at all, and they just get hooked, and I hate to use the word, but it empowers them. It makes them more confident about doing things.
Yeah, I think when you can give somebody that confidence or that self-esteem boost by showing them things, and it didn't take it down to a level of, oh my gosh, I can't believe you don't know something, because you don't want to treat people like that. You want to build
that's
them
very
up.
important. The way you teach them, absolutely.
Yes.
Okay, dumbass. Let's see how much you remember.
Let's see what you thought. Or sometimes if you've had them on a full run and you're like, darn it, I've told you 3 times. Why don't you no, you can't do that. Some people, like I said, learn differently and they need to have to go through some experiences. But I think for me, that's probably the best thing. Like you said, the smile. It's when they start off maybe, I wouldn't say afraid, but they're unsure.
You can see the terror in their face. Some of these people.
Is that.
And
yes,
God
sometimes.
bless those people that are just so terrified, but they're still doing it. Yes.
I know. I love that. And then at the end, when they're just like, I had no idea, 1, that my vehicle was capable. Number 2, that I was capable. I mean, that's what I love, is that sort of knowing that whatever I did or helped them or gave them some information, they came away and said, oh my gosh, I can now take on more things in my life. I could do things better, try stuff. So I love it. To me, mentoring in any aspect of my life, whether it's my job or other things that we do on the side, taking that time to just help somebody learn and explain and give them that confidence, it's so rewarding, just so rewarding.
Yeah.
So.
And of course, it's not all about us, but it is a side benefit that is wonderful to experience.
Yeah, no, I love the opportunity to help and train and teach somebody new. So anyway, we just need more mentors out there. So if you're out there wheeling and you know a lot, there's a great chance, and it's not for everybody, by the way. There's a lot of people that really can't teach or train or don't have that patience.
Right.
Then it's not for you. And that's okay. You could take your knowledge and you don't have to do that. But if you've got the knowledge and that capacity to help, open your mind and just say, yeah, come on board and, let's show you some things. So
Wendy, I think you've seen this in person, not talking about you and Bill, but that you guys have seen it, not between you two, but it probably does apply. If you want to teach your wife, your son, your daughter, don't do it.
Yeah.
Find somebody else to do it that doesn't know those people, because as a person that is very close to the husband, daughter, wife, whatever,
right,
you are going to say things and you're going to show frustrations that they don't need to see while they're learning.
Well, and it's funny because we joke about it. You know, you can go to the John Bull Trail here at the Gatekeeper, and just bring lunch and plan and sit around and watch on a busy weekend.
Have a good time. Yeah.
You will
keep
not
your damn mouth shut.
Well, yeah, because the other idea is that you're going to see, it's like a boat launch ramp. If you've ever done that on boating in the lake, and you just sit at the local hangout and you watch those two things, the Gatekeeper on a big trail and also boat launch, you're going to see husband and wife, you're going to see friends, you're going to see all kinds of nasty stuff happen because people get so frustrated. And part of it's communication. If you don't know how to say that correctly in the way that that person can understand you, or you're just short-tempered and you're like flying off the handle, drives me crazy. Because when I watch, I'm like, ooh, I could just step in and give you 3 words to help you, but nope, I got to step back and let it happen.
So it's like, turn left. Your left or my left?
Or my left. Yeah, exactly. I was just going to say.
And that's why we say driver or passenger.
Yes.
Do you ever use the driver passenger thing for yourself? Like, it's instead of saying right-handed, you say passenger. I think it's funny because it's like
find yourself. Yeah.
It's a kind of a Freudian slip type thing.
It is kind of a little thing. But anyway, it is fun. But yeah, it's very rewarding too at the same time to help people out.
You know what's fun and rewarding? Not Nikki G.
I was going to say Nikki G.
From the mind of Nikki G.
Hey, this is Nikki G, reminding you to check your oil regularly.
Oh, God.
Yep, about a quart low, but we knew that already.
We already knew that.
Well, that's
Nikki.
not why I'm calling.
I think you need to take longer to pull that out.
A company where you could rent hunting dogs for the day.
What?
Yeah, it's got a cool name. I call it We Lease the Hounds. Yeah. I think that's kind of funny. The hardest part is putting the dipstick back in.
No. Oh my God.
Risk. All right, boys and girls, I'll chat you later. Have a good one. Bye.
So the Nikki G thing is a video file that he sends us. So you are missing this if you're not watching the video. And I'll mention this. I haven't mentioned this in a while on Spotify. If you're listening to the show on Spotify, there's a little button there that you can press, and it will show you the video at exactly the moment that you're listening. So you can switch easily between audio and video, and then you just rewind a little bit and watch your Nikki G, and then go back to whatever it was you were doing. I think you should watch all the video personally.
I think you should too, but if you didn't, you kind of got the inference of what he was doing with the dipstick. But anyway, you have to check it out.
So it's all fun and games until you have to make a midnight emergency run to the emergency center.
Oh dear. Here we go off the rails.
All right, I gotta tell you that I had a wonderful time talking to Brian Myers of JC Off-Road, xjtalk.com. I've known Brian for many, many years. I don't think that we had ever spoken either on the phone or spoken online, chatted or comments on the various things. Yes. They have a wonderful company that make wonderful products. They're big XJ fans, and that's how I got to know them originally is because of my XJ. And they still make XJ products, but they also do make a bunch of different products. And they have just done an amazing job. They're up there in close to Henderson, up in Michigan, I believe. We talk quite a bit about all kinds of things that they've been up to, and how Brian is starting a podcast. And he actually has a really nice set up. So going back to the watching on YouTube, you need to watch this interview on YouTube so you can see the very nice set that Brian has set up for JCR Off-Road. And it was great to have him on. He is a very interesting fellow, and I made this post, I think, on Facebook or something, when I put up a link or something about the interviews. And if you ever get a chance to talk to Brian in person or over the phone, I would do it. He's a very interesting person.
Very cool.
So anyway, did this Jeep Talk Show episode get your engine roaring? Show us some love by dropping a 5-star rating and blazing review on your go-to podcast platform. It's your way to help us expand our Jeep family. Keep the adventure rolling by hitting follow on social media and joining our newsletter crew for the hottest Jeep updates, unmissable events, and just a lot of fun stuff. I mean, we have a Jeep Talk Show event coming up in June, and and before that, we have a bunch of people from Jeep Talk Show, listeners and team members heading out to EJS this year. So you don't want to miss that. I think Greg Henderson, Unofficial Use Only, is going to be doing a special trail run for the group, and he's going to show us what do you call the things where the ancient people would draw on the
petroglyphs.
Petroglyphs, thank you. Petroglyphs, dinosaur bones.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's a lot of things that the people that go to EJS or go to Moab a lot aren't aware of. But Greg's been there enough times, and he's asked enough questions where he's or looked around for it, and it's an amazing thing. So it's an adventure that you do not want to miss. All right, do you have any burning questions or wild idea for our next episode? Fire it over to us at xjtalk.com/contact. And frankly, that's the place you can go to find out all the ways that you can reach out to us. And also, to become a Patreon subscriber. I haven't been pushing this in a while because I hate asking people for things. If you get any kind of entertainment or information from this show, please consider about being a Patreon subscriber and giving us a couple of bucks a month to just give us a pat on the back, and that you really enjoy the show. You're just supporting us. Well, there's just a bunch of weird words coming out of my mouth tonight.
It's one of those nights.
Thanks for cruising with us, and get ready for more thrilling journeys ahead.
Broadcasting since 2010.
Not the shortest episode. That's 40 minutes, almost 41 minutes.